Keep asking good questions. You'll keep getting answers.
Cool. So this one is, I have really good interactions with dating girls and my charisma is way up there. But when it comes to texting, I stink. I hate texting. I have followed your advice on dating, but the skills learned fall short when texting.
Yeah, totally. Well, that is partially because I am terrible at texting. And so whenever I go to make videos, you've noticed there's no videos on texting.
There's one, right?
Is there one?
I think so. I think I gave you some stuff.
There might be like moments in videos related to texting.
Oh, do we not have a texting video?
We might.
I thought we had an animated one.
Maybe we'll throw one up soon.
Who knows?
Yeah, I also hate texting. I don't text my friends. I don't text my family. I don't text anybody. I'm incredibly straightforward. And Ben and I might definitely have different advice here based on the way that we behave. Mine is just accept that it's going to be a ding on your ability to hang out with people and compensate in other areas. Be interesting enough in person, have enough going on, have fun events to invite people to, such that when your text is a lame, hey, do you want to do X? X is fun. You don't need to spice it up with whatever cool thing that Ben is going to say that's going to make them chuckle, or a meme or a GIF that goes along with it. That's... I've elected, I think there's two major areas where I completely let myself lose. And the first is fashion. You could tell I could do better by dressing more nicely. I could probably glean more immediate respect. I could do better. And then the second is in social media text messaging, which I just I let myself stink at, and that's okay. What do you think?
Well, I used to be really into texting. I used to love it. And I was the person that everyone in our friend group would come to and say, what should I text? Because I had this dialed in. I have let that skill atrophy a little bit because on the whole, dating has taken a little bit of a backseat. Safe to say that I was obsessed, you could say, with dating at some point in my life. So I can try to remember what I used to do.
I remember one piece.
The truth is that I too have found that at the end of the day, it seems like this is something where if you put a lot of work into it, you get some benefit, but I've just found it's more enjoyable to focus on other areas.
Sure. So here's one thing that I know that Ben sort of did that makes a difference. And it's to ask yourself, especially when you're texting a woman, what is, on a scale of 0 to 10, how emotionally punchy is this text? And this really cuts to the core of the way that men and women communicate differently, which is men, specifically with text, we're so logistical. Do you want to do X at this time, right? And it can be, what's the emotional content of that? 0.
And just to clarify, if you're dating someone or you're friends with someone and they already like you, that's totally fine. But when you barely know a woman because you just matched on Tinder and you've never met in person, and you send something that's boring, it's not going to elicit a response. So oftentimes you're better off. People will try to get the logistics nailed down immediately. And you're better off just making somebody laugh or smile, and then they'll want the logistics to set up, and you'll often get a response to that. So the last thing I worry about is the where and the when. So even when I'm making plans, I'm like, hey, do you want to go dancing? Hey, do you want to get a drink? But I'd never be like, hey, this is our first message on Tinder. Do you want to go to this bar at this time on Sunday? Because if they don't know you, then the more important thing is seeing if you guys like each other and connecting in that way. And then if she decides that she does like you, she'll want to set up the logistics. So
well, and beyond the liking, it's, you could say, do you want to go this? Or you could, this simple thing that, I know a cool spot. That takes it from a 0 to a 2 in emotional punchiness. And then Ben mentioned jokes, teases, gifts, all of those things. What is someone's reaction going to be when this pops up on their haven't yet read it? Is it something that demands to be opened and read?
Yeah, I know.
Isn't it?
I know one too. Yeah, don't give them homework. Like, don't. When I was just getting back from Thanksgiving, so I was landing in LA and I matched with a couple people, and it's like, oh, what should I send them? And the thing my brain thought was like, hey, how was your Thanksgiving? This person doesn't know you. They don't. Why? They're not going to want to write you an explanation of that, unless they really, really like you as a match. You're not giving them a gift there. You know what I mean? It's almost a homework assignment. Like, oh, tell me about your thing. Versus saying something that makes them laugh or smile or puts them in a good mood.
Can you, off the cuff, Thanksgiving, come up with something that was just a little bit more playful, for instance?
Yeah, actually didn't come up with anything better, just didn't write them.
But let's give it a for example, just to convey the idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so simple. I'll just say, hey, name, you're adorable with a smiley emoji.
Yeah.
And not put a question or anything. And by the way, sometimes that gets no response at all.
Yeah.
But if they like that, they'll go, oh, thank you so much. So are you, or whatever it is. And now we're chatting. I'm not giving them a homework assignment in the first text of like, hey, why do you live in LA? Hey, I saw you went to University of Arizona. Why do you live in LA?
Yeah.
I don't know you, dude. I don't want to write you a bio.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's more my thought. I'll just if I see something in their profile, I'll comment on it. If they've got a dog or they like a sport or this and that. I'm terrible at golf. One person I matched with recently, she said, I'm looking for someone who likes lawyer jokes, sarcasm, and can play golf with me. And I was just like, I'm just going to highlight that I absolutely suck at golf. And so I made a joke at my own expense that kind of like got the conversation starting, rather than asking her a question like, oh, it's so cool that you like golf. How'd you get into that? That feels like putting the conversational onus on them. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of this is less important than I used to think. So don't spend more than 30 seconds thinking about a text. I used to craft the perfect text.
Yeah. There's more important things to which you could put your time. And I don't just mean than dating. I mean, like, the type of person that you become in other areas of your life is just so much more like important than what
have
you
a
text.
bio that's cool because you have cool hobbies and you do fun stuff.
Have gone somewhere interesting and have had a
go
person
travel. Go travel or go surf or go this or read interesting books or do something, and then create a bio that's interesting is much better than if you have a couple of nondescript photos of you with 30 other guys or you by yourself, and then you spend 10 minutes crafting great text. Like, no, just go live an interesting life, and then your text will matter less.
I think this is, I don't know if this person is dating, but not necessarily dating apps. So I also think that that's the other thing.
Same thing though. The texts are so much easier. So this is the biggest thing. When I was obsessed with dating, I would make any night available to people.
This is big,
because I really wanted to date a billion people, right?
This is important.
Much more attractive is, hey, what's going on? You want to get a drink tonight? No, I can't. How about tomorrow? I can't tomorrow. I have improv class. Oh, you do improv? That's so cool. This is a natural conversation that's interesting, and it makes her want to see me more, but that's not why I do it, right? Or, hey, do you want to get a drink tomorrow? Oh, I can't. I'm going surfing on Saturday. Like, I got to get up early. What about Sunday? Well, you instantly just made yourself more attractive, but it's not because you crafted the right adjectives and verbs. It's because you're just living a cool life. You know what I mean? And so it makes the texting part actually easier, because you're not available all the time, ever present with funny jokes, because your goal in life isn't what mine was at the time, which was to date every day of the week.
Yeah.
So that's been a big change for me. That's been really helpful.
One, when you do get to logistics and you are setting a time and a place, that better than what is your schedule, which is like, it communicates, I'm wide open, you tell me when you're free, is how's Tuesday night? And just pick a time that's 2 to 3 days in advance. Say you have 7 days free. Pick a time and offer that time. You don't have to pretend like you're not free on other days, but
no, I would encourage you to just plan cool stuff selfishly.
Exactly, but the simple selection of a day, I've even seen, goes rather than what's your schedule, does so much better in terms of finally setting that. So I actually do know a bit. Maybe I'll make a video on this one day.
Yeah. No, it's funny enough. I'll suggest a day. They won't be able to do it. Maybe they'll suggest a day. I won't be able to do it. Weirdly enough, it's more likely now that we'll work to find a third day, because we both have lives.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm sure we could ramble on about this for a while, but hopefully that helps. We just don't spend too much time on it, is the short answer.
No. And then the last thing I'd say is, this is true of any charisma thing. Try to think about the emotions you're creating in the person. Try to create positive emotions, laughter and smiling. So maybe this is obvious, but I think people are probably doing it. I wouldn't be snarky or grumpy in a text, and I wouldn't be boring in a text. I would write it out and say, what emotion is this going to create?
Yeah.
And if it's boring, don't send it. And if it's you complaining about something and it's to someone you don't know well, don't send it. But that's advice I would give for any first impression.
Sure.
It's just, try to create emotions in someone that they're going to enjoy.